Here is an update on the underground synagogue, the Third Temple. Okay, we're here at the Western Wall, and you can see our guide is pointing out our location. We'll get into the details of the location of where we are. There was some confusion in the previous videos. Where exactly is this underground synagogue? Where are these chambers? We found it necessary to give you an update because in Jerusalem there is constant excavations and updates. However, this area is pretty much the same. Okay, there's the globe, and again, we have clearly told you this is the sun talked about in Ezekiel chapter 8, the incense. Okay, there you see a Hanukkah. That Hanukkah has 9 candlesticks, not 7, like a menorah. And you could see the Western Wall was there. Okay, we're looking at it here. And this is what it says in the scripture, Son of Man, look in the wall. Okay, that's the Western Wall. And the women are weeping for Tammuz. You can see them there at the Western Wall. They've turned the light on here. And when they did, we noticed that the lettering on the sun, the globe there, is corroding slightly. We'll try to get a closer view of it as we kind of look there and zoom in. It was very clear with the naked eye when you look up. That's when you look up at the globe there. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. There is kind of corroding taking place. So this is new, and hopefully you've understood that what's going on here is this synagogue is the chamber of hewn stone. It is in fact part of the Third Temple. And this is necessary in order for them to do everything else. The Sanhedrin, the 70 nations. The 70 nations are to build a Third Temple. Okay? So that's why this is very important for you to understand how all these things are in fact connected. Okay? So again, we're just giving you views. This is what it said, Son of Man. They face towards the east sun. Okay, and now here is the synagogue. The rounded chairs, those are 70 seats. And in the back, we're zooming in, those are 24 seats. This matches exactly what it says in Ezekiel chapter 8. Okay, so this is the Sanhedrin, and this allows them to rule over the 70 nations. Okay, so the chamber of hewn stone is in fact part of the Third Temple. Now, what we're looking at here is not anything different than what we have shown you in previous videos. Okay, we're just pointing out a few things as we go. Again, the lettering here is corroding, and we have this sun thing. We're pointing out where we are in the Western Wall, and we're going to present to you some scenarios. Now, what Christ said is that when you see the abomination that makes desolation, stand in the holy place. And we've kind of speculated, is this the holy place? Is this the part of the temple that has a holy place? Well, we're going to just look at some scenarios. So there we were at the Western Wall, and now here's the stairs on the opposite side, just walking up at the back side of the, you see it's closed off here, the back side of the synagogue. So I'm just trying to get some views. I'm just on a tour. This is all on a tour. Now let's show you where we are as it relates to the other thing that's been very confusing people is understand, if you've never been to Jerusalem, where we are. So this is the Western Wall, and what we're doing is we're walking up a bridge that goes onto the top of the quote-unquote Temple Mount. Okay, so down below us here is the famous Western Wall. Now that's a new visitor center here in front of us. We're going to talk about that later. Okay, so here's the area in front of the Western Wall. That's the men's section. You see the tents? That's the women's section. Okay, so this is the area down below. What you're looking at is the Western Wall. See that tower up there? Okay, that's important. That's kind of a landmark for us. See, there it is. Now we're inside on top of the quote-unquote Temple Mount facing towards the west. Okay, so the people in the Western Wall is down below. Okay, and that, remember, we were looking up at that tower before. So now as we turn around, we can see the Dome of the Rock. Now we're facing east. Okay, facing east. This is the Dome of the Rock. And in the distance there, you see that tower in the distance? That's the Mount of Olives. Okay, so the things that we're showing you are not under this Dome of the Rock. There was confusion before when we showed you the synagogue. It's not underneath. Now, here is an area that potentially could be a space for the third temple. Guys, we're going to present a few scenarios. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. The holy place is a place that's 20 by 40 cubits. It's a rectangular square. So we don't actually believe that necessarily that synagogue is the place. Okay, see, here's the tower. Remember we saw that before? Because this is a space in an area just north of the Dome of the Rock. If this Dome of the Rock stands in place and is not moved, and they're looking for a place for the temple, this could be it. Okay? But we're going to show you some other possibilities here. Now, here's this visitor center. This is another possibility. People have wondered, Leland, what is this big building and visitor center? It's right next to the Western Wall there. As you can see, there's the Western Wall. Yes, potentially there could be something here. So we're doing all these updates to show you all this stuff, so because it's constantly changing. There's new construction. There's so many things here, okay? All right, so this gives you an idea. Now, the women's section, we're going to go down below. Now, Fred, this is the 10th Roman Legion. Okay, so now this is the 10th Roman Legion. We're back underground, okay? And now we're going through this area. We've shown you this before. This is the dining rooms, the chambers. It said, Son of Man, dig in the wall, the Western Wall. Look at the chambers. These are all facilities that will be part of the third temple. Dining halls, meeting rooms, various places that would facilitate the third temple. Now, the third temple could, in fact, be underground entirely. We're watching to see, okay? But we have to give you updates on a certain section down here. Okay, this is the dining hall. We'd shown you this before. And as we leave the dining hall, we go through the area of the students. Okay, we showed you this in the Chamber of Hewn Stone, the Council of the Students. Okay, all of this is things that are kind of computer-generated things and trainings and whatnot. And as you walk through, then you end up at the synagogue. Okay, so we're just giving you a reference of, okay, that was the dining hall. This is the student area. Okay, this is the synagogue. Okay, then you walk down below the synagogue, and then as we turn to our right, we will see the Western Wall. Okay, now these are in fact chambers that would be part of the third temple. They would either have tunnels and things connecting to something maybe on top of the Temple Mount. Okay, see that's all above us. Okay, and then as we turn to the right, there's the Western Wall. I'm trying to give you the best orientation of where all this is and everything that's taking place. Now, this is the area that we are really looking for. This has the most changes and work going on. We've shown you this before, and this could be the space for a temple. Okay, they're probably going to run a few scenarios as to where they can do this, but here you can see that's the Western Wall. Okay, up above us is the women's section. Okay, so we've shown you that area up above. The people are up above. Now we're all down below. This is enormous. This is, they're digging down, so it's hard to figure out actually how large this is because you have scaffolding and different things. But this is a place that is more square and rectangular in shape of the temple. Okay, the temple is more of a square. The Chamber of Hewn Stone, the synagogue, is not. So we wanted to see what they were doing here because you see there's active excavations going on. You see the light and the workers. Okay, so this is something that's of great interest to us as to what they do here. Now, you can see this is a tour. You can go on tour and you can see this in tours in the Western Wall. Okay, but what is going on? Now they're digging lower, and we're going to show you some footage from when we were here about 10 months ago, and you can see a lot of work is done. This is all new scaffolding across the way, and they are preserving an area that is a circular shape right there. This is 10 months ago. Okay, now we're looking 10 months ago. We're looking at the area Okay, this is pretty much unchanged, but we can see the western wall. And look, see that? Now that area there, okay, is the circular shape. And what they're doing is they're digging to the back of that. So they're digging back behind this. All this area, a lot of this is being excavated, being removed, and enlarging the space. Okay? So this is where we were before, and we were down below, and you can see that built up piece of stone there towards our left. And as we go back to the present day tour, we can see a lot of this has been excavated. And when they do, it just enlarges the space. The ground level goes down. Now they're going to keep this here. This actually has a drainage channel in it that connects all the way down in the city of David. Okay, we're back in our present day tour. And again, here we're looking down. We're just going to get you guys the best footage we can. Here, the area is being described. There's a drainage channel that drained from a road all the way up here by the western wall, all the way down into the city of David, exiting to the south of the old city of Jerusalem. So we have below that rounded area, it's being left in place as a bit of a almost like auditorium or something. Okay, the people are looking down below at that circular shape. But to our left is a place that's been enlarged quite a bit. In front of us, those large stones appear to be in place the same as before. To our right, that seems to be similar to what we saw before. But to our left is this area. So this is what we're watching for. We're watching for this area, and what kind of things do they do with this? This might be just an entire scenario where the third temple will be in this space. Okay? If they're unable to successfully make it on top, okay, they may make it right here. Now here we can see lots of the work and lots of the digging. All this is cleared out space. Remember we saw the piled up stones? Well, those are all gone. So a lot of this is cleared out space. They'll probably go down to the farthest point of bedrock. Okay, those stones are left there. So a lot of work is being done here. A lot of archaeology, and I'm sure they'll share findings. But it's pretty clear this is an enormous space underground, right by the western wall. So this is why we knew we had to go back and go on tour and view this area, because this is very, very important. So guys, we do have lots of videos on this. If you're not familiar with this, please watch the other videos. We covered it. Again, we're going back. This is the previous period, 10 months ago. And this is part of our playlist on the third temple. Okay, so the third temple has various scenarios that might play itself out, and one of which is underground. Okay, so here's the rounded area now. Okay, and you see scaffolding above it. And now as we turn to the left, we'll see more of the area. See the work being done, clearing out this space, and digging down, and we have an enormous space underground, an entire building and facility. So guys, thanks for watching, and there will be links in for the playlist on the third temple, but we're watching for these things. Look, they're happening.